Hi, welcome to DP Animations. So we are going to be creating a slit up and down text animation by using it to create a cinematic movie beginning credits. Okay, and please kindly like, subscribe, and comment. Okay, let's start. Okay, I have After Effects open here. Let me bring the material to use. So I have this material. Let me click and drag it in. Okay, now let's proceed. All right, let's create a new composition 1920 by 1080. Let me name it background. I think 20 seconds is okay. Now let's insert in the picture that I brought in. Click and drag it into it. Press R on the keyboard and rotate it 90 degrees. Now press S on the keyboard and scale it up to fit. Okay, so this is okay. Now come to Effects and Presets and type CC Kaleida. Okay, CC Kaleida. Okay, so it's here. Double click to apply it. All right, so you have this. Now come to the CC Kaleida attributes here. Okay, effects attributes here. Then on mirroring, let's change it to stylish. Okay. Then the size, let's go something like 140. Okay, so you have something like this. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to animate the rotation. Okay, so press E on the keyboard to bring out the effects here. Now click on the cascading arrow, then come to rotation. So let's set a key here. Then move the timeline to the last end there. Then type something like a 2 times rotation. So let's see the speed. Okay, so this is okay. Let me leave it like this. All right. Okay. Now let's insert in a solid layer. Right clicking, come to new, then select solid layer. Okay. After inserting the solid layer, come to Effects and Presets and type Fractal Noise. Fractal Noise. Okay. Then apply it here. Double click to apply it. You see. Now the fractal noise, let's animate its evolution. So let me press, come here, the evolution, set a key at the beginning where it says 00, or press E on the keyboard to bring the fractal noise down here. Okay, then the evolution, that's where we set the key. Then bring the timeline to the last end there. Then type 10 times evolution speed. So 10, let's see. Okay, so this is okay. So this is okay. Now come to the effects and presets and type CC light rays. Then double click to apply it. You move the light ray anchor point to the middle here. You come to the transfer mode here. It says here add. Change it to none. Okay. So once you change it to none, you see that it will be left with only the light ray. Okay. So now let's come to the light ray radius, then increase it. So let's increase the radius. So you see. So now you see that the light ray is showing by acting on the fractal noise. So you have something like this in the middle there. I think the evolution speed of the fractal noise is not enough. So let me bring the timeline to the last end there. Then instead of 10, the evolution of the fractal noise 10, I'll change it to something like 15. And let's see the speed. Okay. So now we can see it well. All right. All right. Now, right click in, then come to new, then select adjustments layer, then come to effects and presets and type 4 color gradients. Okay, 4 color gradients, then double click to apply it onto the adjustments layer. All right. So after that, come to its blending mode here, then change it from none to something like maybe difference. You see that? So let's see. Okay. Okay. So with the background being busy, you see that the fractal noise there is also acting on its own, having its own style there. You see that? All right. I think we are done here for the background. Now let's create another composition, which is 1920 by 900. And let's name it main. Okay. Okay. So now let's click and drag background into the scene. All right. Now what we are going to do is come to the tools menu here, then select the ellipse tool, double click to apply it onto the background. You see this? Then let me on the masking tool. Okay. So we have masked the background. Double click on the edge, then drag it in a bit. Let me drag it. This one's also in a bit. Okay. So we have something like this. Now, under the cascading arrow here, where it says mask 1. Now we are going to feather it. So let's increase the feather to something like, let me see, 600. The feathering to 600 is okay. Let me see. I'll do a little bit of changing here. I think the rotation speed of the background is too much. So I'll go back to the background, then come to, let's move the timeline to the last end there. Then come to effects, the Kaleida. I think the rotation cycle, let's go just one rotation cycle, which is 360. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is enough. Let me come back to the main. So let's see again. Okay, now the feathering, let me make it 700 and see again. All right, so this is good. So this is good. This is enough. So what I'll do is I'll go back into the background, okay, then increase the radius of the light ray. Let me increase the radius to something like 400, okay. Okay, let me tone it down a bit, so something like 80. Let me reduce the opacity to something like 80. So 80 is okay. All right. Now let's create a solid layer. Come to new, solid layer. Let's make it black. All right. What you are going to do with the solid layer is just to create a film gate. All right. So let me select the rectangular tool, masking tool, stand somewhere here, then click and drag. Just gauge. Okay. Let me just gauge. So this is enough. Then I'll come to the masking tool, then select inverted. Okay. All right. So I'll just lock these two, the background and the film gate. So this is going to be our background animation for the beginning credits. All right. Now, one thing that I have to do is create an overlay on the background. Okay. So let me see. So let me insert a new solid layer, black. Okay. Come to tools menu and select the ellipse masking tool. Okay. Now double click to apply it. All right. So this is it on the dark shadow. Then come to under mask 1 here. Then select subtract. All right. Then it's still inside mask 1. Just feather the edge. Okay. So something like this is okay. So now you can lock this one too. So you have something like this. Okay. Now let's bring in the text now. All right. Let me just type a name first, any name at all. So I will type this. So I have this name here. Let me position it in the middle first. So the slit up and down that I was talking about is when you move the text from bottom to up. When it comes from the bottom to up, that's the slit up. But when it comes from the up to down, that's the slit down. Okay. So now let's apply, come to effects and presets and select linear wipe. Linear wipe. Okay, and apply it to the text. Okay. So now let's bring in the rulers. Come to view, show rulers. So let me see. Let me bring the middle one here and this one to here. So now this is enough. So let me move the text a bit up. All right. Press P on the keyboard for position. Then something like 1 second. Let me set an ending key. Then move the timeline backwards. Then move the text down. Okay. So the text will come from under here. Then it will come up. You see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the linear wipe to cut the bottom here. So come to the linear completion. Then select, instead of 90, let's go 0. So the 0 will come down. Then cut the text. You see that? It will cut the text. So the text will start from somewhere here. See that? It's like there's something transparent blocking the text there. Okay. So it will just come out from the middle there. So let's select the two keys, then easy ease them. Come to keyframe assistant, easy ease. Then come to the graph editor, then pull one side in. This way, it will come out faster than land slowly. So you have something like this. You see that? Too fast. So if it's too fast, just drag the line, the key points a bit out. So let's see. All right. So this is enough. So the only thing left here is just to play on the text a bit. Let me come inside the text here, text animation, then select something like tracking. Okay. So the tracking amount, I'll go from maybe 0, set a key on 0, then something like 3 frames. Let me go something like 20 and see if it's okay or it's too much. So let's see. Okay, so this is okay. All right, this is okay. Let me make it 30 to here. Let me make it 30. And let me clear this one. So it will be like this. All right. So once it's spread out, I can fade it in. So from here to here, press T, that's for the opacity, then fade it out. Okay, then go 0. Then you can split the layer here. Come to edit menu, come to the edits, then split layer, then clear this one. So we have something like this. You see. Now, from here, you can just duplicate this one, duplicate it, then bring it here. So once it's disappearing, the next one will also be coming. So we have something like this. See that? So let me change this one. It comes in, spread out a bit, then disappear. The next one also come, spread out. Okay, so now we have done the slit up. So this is the slit up animation, text animation that we have done. Now what we're going to do is the up and down. So it's 2, all right? So let me duplicate this one, Control D. Let's move it somewhere here. Okay, so I'll use this one, all right? So I'll use the first one as the up. Now let me duplicate it. Now let me create the down, okay? Let me off one first. Now position on this one. Let me take the position animation off first, all right? So we have only the text here. Let me off the text. The first animation, you see that I cut the bottom. So in this case, I'll flip the linear wipe to 180 degrees to cut the top. Okay, so instead of 0, I will type 180 here. Okay, so you see that 180 is cutting the top here. So the first animation, it started from down here. Okay, which maybe I don't want. I want it to start from where the line is, something like where the line is. So this one, I'll increase the transition to something like 49 so that it will cut it a bit from there. You see? Okay, let me off this one. So let's come here. So I'll cut to something like 50%. Then the starting point animation, I'll set a key here. Let me see this one. Bring the timeline in line with the first animation endpoint. Okay. Now, let's move it down. See that? So let me on the first animation and let's see. So we have something like this. You see? You see that? So select the two keys of this one as well. Then ease it. Okay. Then come to the graph editor. Then pull this side in. Okay. So we have something like this. So we have the slit up and the down. You see that? Up and down. Okay. The name on the top, let's change it to maybe music by, okay. Then reduce the size of the font. Okay. You see that? Okay. Once you are done, just select the two, then duplicate. Then move it to the last end there. Okay. Then you can change the name of this one too. Okay. So basically we are done here. Okay. Basically we are done here. The only thing I'm going to do is I'll go over this so that you guys can understand it well. So we have something like this. Let me on the text. I've off these ones, so let me on them. Now let's see our intro. Okay, our beginning credits for the movie. See that? Easy. It's simple. Okay. So now the text alone, I'm going to off these ones, then start afresh so that you understand it well. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be the beginning credit for the two. All right. Let's create a new text layer. New text. Okay. Let's just type something. David Drew. David Drew. So that you can understand it well, I'll scale it up. Okay. So something like this is okay. Now let me duplicate it. Then bring one up. Okay. So the one up, I'll name it form by. Then let me reduce the size. Then move it up a bit. So this is okay. Okay. So now we have these two. Let me off the animation on this. Okay. So there's no animation on this. So this is what I'm going to use as the example. Now come to effects and presets. Effects and presets and type linear wipe. The linear wipe is here. So the bottom one, double click on the linear wipe to apply. Then the top one, double click on the linear wipe to apply that one too. So the text at the bottom, since you are going to move it from up to down, we are going to cut the top. Okay. So I'll go something like the wipe angle will be 180. 180. Now the one at the top, since we are going to move from down to up, we are going to cut the down. So we will go 0. All right. So now let's bring a rule to mark the deciding line that they are all going to emerge from. So this is okay. So select the film by and the David Drew, then press P on the keyboard. Okay. Now let me set an ending position key first. I'll bring the timeline to something like 3 seconds. Then set an ending key. Then bring the timeline backwards. Okay. Now the one at the bottom, let me move it up so it disappears. Okay, the one at the top, let me move it down so it also come under the line. Okay, the one down, let me go up a bit. So this is okay. All right, now move the timeline to where they are about to touch the line. Okay, then you can move your linear wipe. So the one under, okay, the one at the top there that I've moved to the top, that's the one under. Let me increase the wipe angle, the transition completion. So I'll end it like on the line. So something like 48. Okay, 48 we do. Then the one down, let's increase this one too. So maybe this one is 52. 52. So let's see. You see, so this is the slit up and down text animation. All right. So select the two keys, then easy ease them. Okay. Now let me select the first one. Come to the graph editor. Move one side in. Select this one also. Come to the graph editor. Then move one side in. Then you have something like this. You see, simple. Okay, so this is the style that I use in creating the beginning credits for the movie here. Okay, so let me off the example here, then let's on back everything and see. Okay, so let's see. So you see, it comes up, then it's spreading slowly. So this is the up and down. So the single one are just the up, the slit up, but the double one is the up and down. All right, folks. So I think we are done here. Okay.